Now you are officially beginning. Let me welcome everybody. So welcome everybody to Dr. Wintraub's Vision Eye Care Workshop. And we will, the format for tonight will be a presentation and then the opportunity to do a number of exercises. There'll also be opportunities to ask questions and make comments, and we're a small enough group that it can be interactive. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Dr. Wintraub. You will have the capacity to unmute yourselves when it's time to do the question and answer. And there is a chat icon at the bottom where you can chat a question or a comment. We've also included Dr. Wintraub's email there. So if there's any questions that he's not able to answer or get to today, you can email him at alteyedr1, alternative eye doctor 1 @gmail.com. All right, turning it over to you.
Wow, this is cool. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to move you guys over. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I think that this situation that we find ourselves in is different from just regular computer work. And I thought a lot about this, because I think that the symptoms, like look at what Terry just said, she's been, and Catherine, like they've been on a call for 4 hours. And just myself, I was, I worked this afternoon. So I did a bunch of online vision therapies. So what I do is I do vision therapy, and which is, I do exercises with people, and have always done in my office for the past 35 years. But now I'm doing it online. And I was thinking a lot about why is it that this aspect of computer use, this aspect of Zoom use is so visually stressful? And what I think is a few things. One is that because of the situation that we're in, we sort of enter this plateau with a certain level of angst, and that kind of raises us up a little. And then, what are we actually doing online? Well, we're talking to people and trying to, if they're, for instance, if there are clients, we're trying to be empathic towards them. So we're actually looking at the computer screen harder and more intensely than I believe we looked at the computer screen before, when we actually just looked at a screen. And I think that because of that, what's happening is that it's causing people, computer use itself causes a tremendous amount of stress. But this type of computer use is more intense. And I was thinking about it today with my own patients. I mean, I'm sitting there with a patient and the patient's parent in their house. The kid's been home for 4.5 weeks. And I am trying to draw his interest into me on this screen. So I am actually looking at him harder and harder and harder, trying to do that. And I think that what we do, and in general, is that we over focus our eyes all the time. And what that is that we focus harder than we need to. And what it does is that it causes us to fatigue over time. Computers themselves causes us to fatigue over time. But this way of looking causes us to fatigue tremendously. So exercise number 1, or experience number 1. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at me as hard as you can. Concentrate on me. We're going to do it for a minute. Concentrate on me as hard as you can. Really focus in on my face, on my nose, as Okay, now I want you to look at me as softly as you can, as wide as you can. And because there's not that many of us, if you'd like to share, I'll unmute everybody. Is that what I should do, Therese? I'll unmute it. You can raise your hand and then I'll unmute you. If you want to ask, I'm curious as to what your experience is. If anyone has an experience of that, of what that was like. So look hard and look easy. Feel no pressure. There will be a short quiz at the end, and stuff you're out.
I felt when I relaxed it, I felt that I relaxed it, right? I felt I was working hard when you said focus on you because I wanted
Right.
to follow directions. But that allowed for, I did feel more relaxed when I stopped concentrating on you.
And wider. And you
Wider.
see things wider, and it's called soft focus. You see things in a quieter, softer way. So you look intensely, and then you look wider. And so what happens is that when we look intensely like that, our eyes tire, we get headaches. My patients have been telling me they're irritable, they're depressed, and we're going to talk a lot about an inability to sleep, affected by what are called, everyone know what their circadian rhythms are. These are the natural rhythms of the body. Those are disrupted by excess computer use. So, so here's the first thing to say about looking hard and easy, is that eyes are not designed for reading. They're actually designed to throw the spear at the animal running across the horizon. That's what they're made for. And they're not made for the intense amount of focusing that we do. And, whoops, but I'm only with just a few of you, so I can flip my pages. Who cares? Okay. So here's an exercise I want you to do. I want you to look at my face, and I want you to be aware of this screen.
Would it be best for folks to put you in speaker view to see you?
Yeah.
So everyone on the upper right-hand corner, you can go from gallery view to speaker view, so you can see Dr. Weintraub
Right.
specifically.
So what I'm suggesting is look at my face, and while looking at my face, be aware of your entire screen. While you look at my face. Or be aware of your parrot while you look at my face. For those of you who have a parrot, okay? And be aware of the keyboard while you look at my face. Okay? And be aware of the screen above, whatever's above your computer while you look at my face. And be aware of what's on the sides of the computer. And then be aware of how wide and high you can actually get in your room while you look at my face. Try it. Oh, look, somebody's here. Sorry. Whoops. Sorry, you can just give me a second. A friend of mine was on there and I didn't see her, and now she left. Sorry, 1 second. I know this is unprofessional, but what are you gonna do? All right. So, anyone have a comment on the experience of that? What happened to the clarity of my face when you did that?
I actually don't think it's possible to focus on the computer screen and on things outside of the computer. If I am aware of what's outside of the computer, then I can't really focus in a way that I normally use it, which is usually for text.
Well, the answer to that is sort of. The thing is that you're not the word focus to most people means this.
Yeah.
It means looking really tightly and intensely. And what I'm proposing to you is that you don't have to use your vision that way. That you can actually use your vision as a receiver of light rather than looking at it.
Hmm.
And so I'm saying that you can, when you over focus, in other words, what I'm describing as over focus, you believe is just
Yeah.
seeing. Okay, we believe that that's just using our eyes, but I'm saying that that way of using our eyes is actually and actually an over focus. And so when you say, well, how do I focus on the periphery? You're right. If I focus on the periphery, how can I see the center? I'm saying that you can see one and the other at the same time. You can be peripherally aware at the same time. And when you do that, what many people will report is that my face would soften. It would not be as sharp. And I'm saying that when you do that, it widens your awareness. And when you're on a Zoom call, you're focusing, you're cutting out that periphery. You're focusing in intensely on that person, on that individual, because you are so connected to that person in this time. I mean, in any time, but for sure in this time. And if we're professionals, I don't know what we're all doing on the computer, but if we're professionals, we're overlooking, over focusing very, very intensely. And what it does is it causes tremendous amounts of fatigue. And so here's a cool fact. Out of your entire visual field, so this is your visual field, all of this, how many, this is not a quiz, how many degrees of vision, of that field is central vision? Ready? 3 degrees. The central 3 degrees of your entire visual field is central vision. Your glasses correct only the central 3 degrees of your entire visual field. All the rest of it is periphery. And most of us are completely unaware of that periphery. We're completely unaware of it. And I mean, what I'm saying to you, I am focusing this in on our Zoom calls, right? That's what I'm focusing in on. The reality is it's true for everything we do. Everything we do. We over focus and we cut out that periphery. Now, what else is in that periphery? Relaxation. The wider we see, the more we relax. The more we relax, the more we take in.